I'd like to is a scripture for us to look at today. Make your way there. As I think about that song, I think about that great theologian, Aretha Franklin, who said, "Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing." You know, what are people looking for today? What is it that they're not finding that's driving? That shooter in El Paso, Texas. That shooter in Dayton, Ohio. What could have satisfied those guys? You see, they had not found the real thing, apparently. I found some statistics this week that chilled me. It said that 25 out of 26 shooters like that had no fathers in the home. 85% of the youth in prison had no fathers in the home. 85% of the children with behavior disorders had no father in the home. 75% of teens in substance abuse had no fathers in the home or from broken homes. 70% of the youth in state correctional institutions had no father in the home. 71% of high school dropouts, male and female, came from broken homes. 63% of teen suicides had no father in the home. You see, if the love is becoming a missing ingredient in people's lives. Most of the trouble we're seeing is because people are unloved. And I believe that we're in a time when we need to look for love again in all the right places. In Jesus Christ. Because when people found Jesus, they were satisfied. He's the real thing. The woman at the well had 5 husbands. Why? Couldn't find love. Solomon was the wisest and the richest man in the world. He had everything. But he wrote vanity, vanity, all his vanity and vexation of spirit because he didn't have love. Zacchaeus climbed a tree to see Jesus. Zacchaeus was a wealthy man. He had everything he could want. He didn't have love. He found it in Jesus Christ. Some of you here today, you're looking for the real thing. It's in Jesus Christ. Now, you say, Pastor, what is love? I look for some stories to help you understand love. One that I thought was really good is a lady who was driving a brand new car that had for 2 days. She said that she had an accident. It was her fault. She sideswiped somebody, and she started crying. She said, "My husband's going to kill me. My husband's going to kill me." And the guy in the other car said, trying to calm her down, "Don't you hate a crying woman?" And the guy said, "Calm down. Lady, calm down. It's going to be okay." He said, "Let's exchange information, insurance." He said, she said, "Well, I don't know where it is." He said, "It's probably in the glove compartment of this car." She said, "We've only had this car 2 days." She said, when she opened the glove compartment, a note fell out. And she opened it. It was a note from her husband that said, "Honey, if you've had an accident, I want you to remember, I love you and not this car." Let's applaud. Some men can do it right. Turn to your husband and say, "Be one of those." Some men can do it right. I read this one. A young lady broke up with her fiancé, and about 6 months later, she wrote him a note wanting to come back. She said, "Dear Jimmy, no words can express the unhappiness I felt since breaking our engagement. Please say you'll take me back. No one could ever take your place in my heart. Please forgive me. I love you, I love you, I love you. Love, Margaret." P.S. Congratulations on winning the lottery. Now, was that love? Makes you wonder. What is love? Children were asked the question, what is love? And I love some of their answers. Listen to this. Love is when a girl puts on perfume and a boy puts on shaving cologne and they go out and smell each other. Love is when mommy gives daddy the best piece of chicken. Love is when mommy sees daddy smelly and sweaty and still says he's handsomer than Robert Redford. That's love. You know what drew people to Jesus was love. 1 John 4:10 says, this is love. Not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation sacrifice for our sins. The love that God so loved us, we ought to love one another. If we love one another, God abides in us and his love is perfected in us. Let me ask you a simple question. Do you really love the people sitting around you in this church? I believe when visitors walk into church, they'll want to say, can I be loved in this place? And it's the most important thing we can have, is that we love the Lord, and our worship shows we love the Lord, and our spirit shows we love people. And I believe it's important that we restore that. God warned the church at Ephesus in Revelation chapter 2, we'll study Wednesday night. You've lost your first love. It's dangerous. 1 John 4 says the person who doesn't love doesn't know God, because God is love. Jesus said in John 13, a new commandment that I give you, that you love one another as I have loved you. I love that story that Leo Viscardi used to write. Leo Viscardi was a professor, only one I've ever known, who just, his topic was love. And Leo told about the time that his dad lost his job. And he called mom and said, I've lost my job. And when Dad came home from work that day, he said, Mom had a party scheduled. She put all kinds of food out. He said, why are you celebrating? And she said, because no matter what happens, we still love each other. I think that we've forgotten the power of love. Now, the Bible, the New Testament, there's a word that Jesus chose to describe God's kind of love, called agape. Now in the Greeks had 4 words for love. And in English, you just read love, and you may not be reading what the Greeks really were saying. There's brotherly love. There's eros love, which is relational love, physical love, between a husband and a wife. There's storge love, which was family love, love of a family. But when he wanted to describe God's love, he used the word agape for that kind of love. And he said this, I expect my church to be people of agape. So we have to ask, what does that look like? Are we going to be that kind of church? What does it look like? Do we need a restoration of it? Well, Paul, by the way, Paul writes a beautiful scripture about love in 1 Corinthians 13. Paul was single. Remember that? How could a non-married man know such about love? I don't know. But Paul writes down 21 characteristics of love. And I want you to listen for them. 21 characteristics. I want you to say, does that describe me? And does that describe this church? Let's listen to what Paul says. 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 8. He says, though I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, agape, I've become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. In other words, I'm all talk. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries, all knowledge, though I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I'm nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profits me nothing. Love love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy, does not parade itself around. It's not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil. Whoa. Does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Question: is that a picture of you? Does that describe you? What's it going to take for us to be an agape people? I want to tell you 5 things that I draw from that scripture. If there's 5 things we can learn about agape, I want you to learn it today. How can I be an agape person? First of all, what's it going to take? It's going to take everything that's in you to be an agape person. He said, though I give my body to be burned, though I give everything away. Jesus said this. Jesus said, love the Lord with some of your heart, and some of your soul, and some of your mind, and some of your strength. Did he say that? No. What's the word he used? All. Love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. We used to say to married couples, young couples, marriage is a 50-50 proposition. I was wrong. It's 100%, 100%. It's going to take everything in you to make it work. Have we been withholding from Jesus? Years ago, there was a book written by Robert Stan called Moments for Mothers. And he told about a young, rebellious teenage girl in Scotland that got angry at mom and dad and left home. You've heard that story before. And she has gone for years, mad at her parents, lived on the street, became destitute. She went to a women's shelter there in Scotland, and she said on a wall she saw her picture. And the picture said, please come home. Your father has passed. She didn't even know it. Father died. Mom put those pictures in the women's shelter, said, please come home. She decided she'd come home. According to Robert Stan, when she came home, it was late at night, and she wasn't sure she could receive a warm welcome. And she said, according to Robert, she came up on the steps and finally decided she would knock on the door, and when she did, the door opened. It was not closed. Immediately, panic struck her heart, Robert said. She thought somebody broke into the house and was going to harm my mother. And she ran upstairs yelling, Mama, Mama. And she ran up to the bedroom, and Mom was in bed, and said, Mama, Mama, are you okay? Mom woke up and looked up and said, yes. What's wrong? After hugs and kisses, she said, why were you yelling? She said, the front door was open. She said, honey, we have never locked that door since the day you left. I want to tell you something. Agape keeps the door open. Satan wants to close doors to your heart. But God wants to open doors and keep doors open to your heart. Who have you been closing the door to? It's going to cost you everything that's within you. I love that story John Kelly used to. John Kelly wrote for USA Today newspaper covering the famine in Mogadishu. And he wrote a story in USA Today, you may have read it, about seeing a little boy who would follow his crew around, and guy had stick legs, starving to death, protruded belly, red hair from malnutrition. He said one of our crew gave him a grapefruit. He couldn't even hold it, he was so weak. So they cut it in half. Gave him half of it. He walked away. John said, I followed that little boy to see what he would do with that grapefruit. He said he went over and there was another little boy laying in the gutter. It was his brother, he later learned. He said the little boy with the grapefruit would take a piece of the grapefruit, chew it up, and then put it in his brother's mouth and work his brother's jaw and tell him to swallow. He said he fed that whole grapefruit to his brother, a piece at a time. He said, I later learned that the brother who secured the grapefruit died of malnutrition, but the one that he gave the grapefruit to lived. He said, I've never seen such love like that in my life. This brother was giving everything that was within him. Is that not what Jesus did on the cross? Sometimes we have to ask, and no preacher will ask us in marriage counseling, but maybe we should. Are you loving him with everything that's in you? Are you loving her with everything that's in you? Are you loving the Lord with everything that's in you? Jesus hung on that cross naked. He loved you with everything in him, his last drop of blood. Second of all, as I think about agape love, by the way, I'm going to ask you to come down this altar later and say, make me an everything person. I want to love with everything. Number two, agape love means abandoning safety and security. If we're going to love, that's what Jesus did. He abandoned all his safety and security to go to that cross. Though I lose it all, though it profits me nothing. Everybody in this church has a love challenge. Now, I want you to think about your love challenge. I and my wife's love challenge. Thank you for not saying amen, honey. I'm her love challenge. Paul had a love challenge. John Mark. Cain had a love challenge. His brother Abel. The prodigal son had a love challenge. His brother could not meet the love challenge of loving his brother. Jesus had a love challenge. Peter, Thomas. And as Jesus hung on the cross, listen, he loved those who nailed him on the cross. Because he looked down and said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Every church I've been in, I've had a love challenge. I'm still waiting in this church. I've got some of you spotted. You just might be a love challenge. I don't know. What is your love challenge? Have you ever noticed we love up to a limit? No more, Pastor. I can't handle it anymore. Well, what's your limit? You've got to abandon safety and security. I love the story about the little boy named Chad who was learning disabled, and the other children in his elementary school, they kind of bullied him, they mocked him, they laughed at him. Chad was not accepted in his class. His mom said that my little boy Chad, as Valentine approached, she said, Mom, I'm going to make a Valentine for everybody in my class. Mom said her heart sank. She said, I didn't say it, but I knew something. He wasn't going to get any Valentines. But he was going to make one for everybody in his class. He got the scissors, he got colored paper, he cut out little hearts, he wrote on every one of them. And on that morning, she said, I had a plan. When he comes home today and gets off that bus, I'm going to have cookies and milk because he's going to be crying. I know he didn't get a single Valentine. So off he went. He was so proud he had made a stack of Valentine cards for everybody's class. She heard the bus pull up that afternoon. He got off. She heard him walk in the front door and she said, Honey, I've got cookies and milk for you. And she heard him say these words. Not one. Not one. She said her heart sank when she heard those words. She thought, man, he did not get one Valentine. said tears started running down my eye, my face. He came into the kitchen, but he was smiling. He was beaming, saying, not one, Mom, not one. I didn't forget one person. You see, it wasn't about getting, it was about giving. Sometimes we have to change our focus to love somebody. It's not about what you give. It's what you give. Amen? Amen. You see, we've made a mistake in defining love in America. If we would take these children today and say, draw me a picture of love, how many of them would draw a heart? We define it by heart. Listen, a love is not defined by a heart. Love is defined by the cross. That's what. We need to say, people, in America, right there's love. There's what love is. Right, that's what you're looking for. It's Jesus Christ. That love is a challenge. And maybe the reason the world feels unloved is because we're not abandoning our safety and security to go and love people. Here's the third thing I want you to say. Love is surrendering your agenda. Verse 5 says, love does not seek its own. Wow. Pastor, we broke up because he wouldn't. Pastor, we broke up because she wouldn't. You fill in the rest. And I've heard it all. Well, what do you say then? Is it about you or is it about him? Agape is living God's agenda, not my agenda. Agape changed Paul the Apostle. On that road to Damascus, Paul was rolling with his agenda. But Jesus struck him down and said, I got a new agenda for you, Paul. Our agenda is a kingdom agenda. Several years ago, I was going to a conference I went to a conference in Nashville, Tennessee. And it was on new church growth. The churches in America that were growing the most. And only a handful of people were invited, and I got invited. So I went. And they had this new pastor there whose church was booming. Nobody ever heard of. His name was Rick Warren. Anybody ever heard of him? Yeah. He was unknown. And they had another guy. We got to talk to all these guys, what they were doing. There was another guy from Phoenix, Arizona, by the name of Tommy Barnett. Now, you can look up Tommy. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But you know what Tommy did? He had one of the largest churches in Phoenix, Arizona. I saw one of his worship services later on. He did. Tommy started a church for handicapped people. That was it. Way before handicap laws, he built a handicapped church. He had vans that would drive all over Phoenix, Arizona and pick up people in wheelchairs, walkers. They didn't want the well, he wanted all the city. He had wheelchairs all over his church. And when they came, they brought their moms and dads and their brothers and sisters. The whole family came. I just wanted a wheelchair. He had a church of thousands because he decided to love people who weren't loved, usually in the church. He surrendered the usual church agenda to make Jesus known. Now here's a refrigerator for you. The more of me that I open up to Jesus and to others, the more of him that I get. Now think about it. The more of me that I open up to Jesus Christ, the more risk I take surrendering to his agenda, the more of him I'm going to get. The more we as a church open up to his agenda, the more of him we're going to get. When he comes in, it's going to be blessed. That's the real thing. Here's another. What it takes to be agape love is staying power. Agape is staying power. It's love over time. It says here, agape never gives up. saving power. Agape never gives up. President Trump has successfully brought back a lot of the bodies from North Korea. Well, in 2013, they sent one back. I want to tell you about this fellow who came back in 2013. His name was Sergeant First Class Joseph Gant, with two T's, G-A-N-T-T, if you look it up. When Joseph Gant came back from his body came back from the Korean War, killed in 1951, his wife Clara was waiting for him. She told him before she left, "You're my husband. You will always be my husband." Over all these years, she had gone to missing persons rallies for missing people. She bought a house near a lake so he could go fishing when he came back. She had the house decorated for her husband. She was interviewed by a newspaper reporter. She said this: "He told me if anything happened to him, he wanted me to remarry. I told him, no. Here I am, still his wife, and I'm going to remain his wife until the day the Lord calls me home." Whew. I wish Lord Baptist had said that. I'm going to love her. I don't care how many smoke alarms go off when she cooks. I'm going to love her. I don't care if I have to open all the doors. I'm going to love her through the smoke alarms. I'm going to love Jesus no matter what. I'm going to stick with Jesus no matter what happens. This week, a well-known pastor, I'll tell you his name. You can look him up. Joseph Harris. Well-known pastor, large church, thousands of people, announced that he's leaving his wife and he's no longer a Christian. What? Talk show yesterday, there was all the conversation. I listened for 30 minutes to the talk show on the radio. What's with Joseph? Joshua Harris. The answer was, several people had interesting answers. 1 John chapter 1, they went out from us, but they were not of us, or if they had been of us, they would have remained with us. Maybe you wasn't ever saved. Somebody gave a good scripture. They said, test yourself to see if you're in the faith. Test yourself. He said, a lot of times Joshua grew up in a Christian school. And had he ever just tested himself to see if he really believed in Jesus? The real test of your belief in Jesus is staying power. And I'm going to stay with Jesus. I'm going to stay with the truth of Jesus that varies between one man and one woman for one lifetime. That's the truth. And I'm staying with it. I'm going to stay with what he has once revealed to the saints, the truth of Jesus Christ. Now I want to tell you something. Learn this. Bible will put it on the refrigerator. Satan always takes what is beautiful and tries to mar it. God always takes that which is marred and makes it beautiful. Think about that. Why in the world would you walk away from somebody like that? One day Satan came to Jesus. Said, I caught me a world full of people. Jesus said, what are you going to do with them? He said, I'm going to teach them how to hate each other, lie to each other, build bombs and destroy each other. I'm going to teach those people how to steal, drink, do drugs. And on he went. Jesus said, how much you want for them? Satan said, you don't want those people. You don't want them. They're going to hate you, despise you, betray you. They'll even beat you and crucify you and kill you. They'll nail you to a cross. You don't want those people. Jesus said, what do you want for them? He said, well, I'll tell you what I'll make with all those people. Let me do to you anything I want to do to you. And Jesus said, done. Satan took him and he nailed him to the cross. But you know what? Love never gives up. When Jesus stepped out of that tomb alive, love won. Amen? Amen. God said, you took my son and you nailed him to a cross, but I still love you. That's why you can't go to heaven if you don't believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is the resurrection of his love. No matter what you've done, how bad you've been, how far you've gone, he still loves you. Amen. Love. Number 5 is God's touch on your life. That's what love is. It's nothing more than God's touch. The greatest challenge of all is to show the world we've been touched by God. You see, agape love is grace love. 2 little girls were talking. One was a Christian, one was not. Non-Christian said, what's it like to be a Christian? Well, it was about Halloween season. And the other little girl said, well, I'll tell you, it's like being a pumpkin. Being a Christian is like being a pumpkin, she said. God picks you out of the patch. You're all dirty, ugly, and he washes the dirt off of you. He cuts open the top, scoops out all the yucky stuff. He removes all the seeds of doubt and hate and greed. Then he carves a smiling face on you. And he puts a candle inside of you so that you can shine to the world. When you've had that experience, you've been touched by God by the life. Maybe you're here today, and you want that kind of love in your heart. Well, then you've got to let him put his hand in your heart and make it his. When your heart becomes yours, when your heart's yours, bad things happen. But when your heart is his, you're going to shine with agape love. Maybe today, somebody in this church would say, Lord, Pastor, I want to be like that. When I was in seminary, and close on this, when I was in seminary, we had some wise professors. One old professor used to say this, you young boys, preacher boys, if you preach that God is like a policeman, always got rules, you break a rule, you're in trouble. If you preach God's a holy policeman, you're not going to go anywhere. When you stand in that pulpit, God, don't preach God as a policeman. Preach God as a father who has a lost son that he's looking for. Preach God as a broken-hearted father looking for a child. Anybody ever lost a child on the phone? Well, I have. He's a broken-hearted father. That's the God we serve. And his heart is broken. But you got lost. And he wants you to come home. Come home to that father. When the prodigal son came home, guess who was watching over the horizon? Dad saw him coming. He said the dad came and fell on his neck and wept. Put the ring back on his finger, robe on him, shoes on him, killed the fatted calf. He's a broken-hearted father when you come home. If you've ever come to him and let him implant his agape love in you, you don't know what living is. His love's not in your heart. Would you ask him to put it there today? Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we see the love of a broken-hearted father going to a cross. We see the love of a broken-hearted father as he looked down at those mocking him, celebrating his pain. He said, Father, forgive them. That's agape love. Lord, may they know us by our love. Lord, if somebody has forgotten that, restore agape to the hearts of this church today. Put the love of God back in hearts that are married. Put the love of God back in our heart, I pray. If we've set limits on love, we've given up on love, if we try to define it our way, our agenda, forgive us. Today we dedicate ourselves, we rededicate ourselves to being who God made people. If you're here today and you want that love in your heart, would you just say these words? The Bible says you got to confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus. Believe in your heart God raised him from the dead. And he'll come in and save you. You say, Jesus, I need you in my heart. I've admired you from afar, but I've never asked you even to be Lord of my heart. Create in me a clean heart, a new heart. Put your heart in me. That heart that looks like a cross. And I'll carry it. I believe that you're the Son of God who died for me on that cross and rose again. And so I ask you to come in and be my heart. As I open it to you now, give you my life. Ask you to wash me like a pumpkin. Clean out the junk. Put a smile on my face and put the light in me. As today I give you my life in Jesus' name. Amen. Maybe you need to come today and just say, I want to rededicate my life to being a jumping person. I'm going to ask Larry to stand over here. I'm going to stand over here. And we'll be here all afternoon while we're there. As long as it takes. Say, God, restore his love in my heart. Let's stand together. If you prayed that prayer, you never given your life to Christ, what you just did, won't you come forward and shake my hand and say, Pastor, I'm going to give my life to Christ for the first time today. I'm willing to follow him in heavens. By the way, let your life, young lady, young lady I'm buried tomorrow, 48 years old, raised a Presbyterian, didn't know she had to give her life to Christ. Had a Bailey Smith crusade in 1998 here in Fayetteville. Been in church all her life, and she didn't know she had to give her life to Christ, and she did. And she was on fire ever since. Would you come? Let's stand together. If you prayed that prayer, if you didn't want to, come in.